Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So today we're talking about neutrals, and you can see here a few clips. I show quite a lot of neutrals on the channel, but I also get quite a lot of questions about my favorite neutrals and just different ways to incorporate those into paintings and things like that. So today I thought we would quickly go over my favorite neutrals, so that information's all in one place, and then we will paint. And we're doing a similar painting to the one we did last time. We're using a slightly different color palette, so I'm just showing you how you can use the colors that you have. You don't have to go out and get exactly the same thing, and you can get similar results. And then we're also going on a little adventure, a little unexpected adventure. So this has been quite a long week, so the video is a little bit late today, but I'm chugging along, hoping to get everything done, and yeah, so I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're swatching them in this Hahnemuller sketchbook. I've been really loving these. So it's the Nostalgia line, and this is the little A6 one. So yeah, it's not exactly, it's not cotton watercolor paper, but I've been really enjoying how the watercolors perform on this paper. So, and I feel like it, it's a little bit less precious. So yeah, I just quite enjoy it. So yeah, this is like my first little selection. So these are neutrals that I use pretty much every day, or when I am painting, I incorporate these into it as well. So, and then we'll go over watercolors. So the first thing here that I'm swatching is the Cretacolor watercolor pencil. I've been really enjoying these Cretacolor ones lately. That was the HB. And then this one here is one of my all-time favorites. I've mentioned this over the years, and this is the Faber Castell watercolor graphite. So, yep. And then this one here is, that's the first one I'm just showing you. That's the first one that we did. And then this one is also one of my favorites. So this is the Caran Technalo. I can't remember. So I think there's a few different ones. This one is kind of the sepia toned one. So when you water it out, it has like these like brown undertones, which I really love. This is the Kaweco Sketch Up, and I have the koh-I-nor 5.6mm. I think it's the dark sepia. Again, I'll list all these things below. And I really love that dark brown. So this one is my favorite watercolor graphite at the minute. This is the, sorry about that. This is that was the watercolor. No, that was the non-watercolor graphite color from Caran, and it's a double-sided pencil. And so I've been really enjoying using that for sketching. We will kind of have a look at that. It'll have a little cameo in the video later on as well. So yeah, then I also consider shimmery golds and silvers and metallics as neutrals as well, and I use them as part of that neutral palette. So the first one there we just swatched was the Winsor Gold ink. I probably use that in almost every video. And then this one is the Sennelier Silver Ink, which I really love. And then this last one here is the Lascaux Britannia Silver, something like that. And that's an acrylic one, but again, it's like that champagne gold, which I love. And then these would be my two favorite Neocolors. So this one is a Neocolor I, so it's not water soluble. And it's the Ash Grey, which is again like that champagne gold color, which is really beautiful. And then I really love the bronze as well in the Neocolor II. Okay, so let's start on my favorite watercolors. So this first one is my favorite ochre. This is French Ochre by Daniel Smith. So I really love it because you can see it's very light, sheer, and it's just a beautiful soft one that I can mix with a lot of my other colors to get just soft neutrals. So this one here is the Sedona by Daniel Smith. It's kind of my version of burnt sienna that I like because it's kind of got some pinky undertones. This one here is Van Dyke Brown by Daniel Smith, and then this one is the Hematite by Daniel Smith, which I absolutely love. I mix this with a lot of things. It's got, again, it's like a black granulation with brown undertones. And then there are some variations of these that I really enjoy as well. So this first one is the Shell Harp Light by Earth Mineral Arts. This one here is the a cool toned version of kind of burnt sienna. This one is the Roasted French Ochre by Daniel Smith. And then this one here is a actually warmer version of the Van Dyke Brown. This is the Schmincke Sepia Reddish Brown, which I absolutely love. It's a really, really beautiful one. Yeah, so those, as far as traditional kind of neutrals, those would be my favorites and my most used, and it took me quite a long time to figure out ones that fitted with everything else in my palette. And then this here you can see is this was kind of my first neutrals palette, so it was kind of an extra palette that I would pull out with my other palettes, and I would have kind of the neutrals that I wanted to use all in one place. So then I made this tiny little palette. This is in a Whiskey Painter's palette, and yeah, again, this has like more of those really, really like the earthy colors that I really love. Again, you can see there are some sparkles. This one here is a even smaller palette. This is got the earth, the ocean paper. I think that's right. And they do beautiful neutrals, so they are in there. And yeah, so I really love having those little supplementary kind of neutrals palettes. And then here we have, these are kind of my violet earth, my favorite violet earths. So this first one is Daniel Smith Lunar Violet, and you can mix similar things to these with, you can use like a granulating black, so like Mars black or something like that, with a touch of like a dioxazine purple. This one here is Hematite Violet, so this one is by Earth Mineral Arts, and I also really love the Daniel Smith version, and I'll show you how to mix something similar to that as well. So this one here is a Caput Mortuum, so this is, okay, sorry about that, so this is by Winsor and Newton, and again it's that really beautiful kind of color. I also, in the Roman Schmoll palette, you can see a lot of these similar type colors as well. That's the last video. So this one is one of my all-time favorites. This is Daniel Smith Sugarlight, and it's just a really beautiful smoky lavender color. This one here is Daniel Smith Moonstone, and so this is a soft gray that shimmers, so I really like using this as well. I like mixing this with things. This one is one of my all-time absolute favorite watercolors. This is by Nibs Watercolors, and it is Hercatia. So I really, really love this. It's like a holographic sparkle with just this beautiful taupe color. Yeah, really beautiful. So this one is Isaro, and this is a new one, and I just did a video on this. This is the Buff Titanium. So this is kind of a new neutral for me, but I've been really, really enjoying the mixes that it creates. And then this one is Winsor & Newton Potter's Pink. Again, just a really beautiful muted pink. So a few of the mixes that I really love, and you can see that I just pulled that out of a half pan. So this is a pre-mixed half pan of Sugarlight and Pearlescent White. So quite often I really enjoy mixing things with the Pearlescent White. I would say that that is also one of my favorite neutrals. So this one is Potter's Pink and Pearl White, and I absolutely love that that color. and then this one here is Shell Pink and the Caput Mortuum. So I really love mixing any of these dark, dusty, sort of violet earths or darker colours with the Shell Pink to get really sort of beautiful dusky colours. And then this one is the Caput Mortuum with Daniel Smith Hematite, and you can see that it makes a similar thing to the Hematite Violet. So then one of my other favourite ways to create a neutral is to mix Hematite Violet and the Daniel Smith Luna Violet. So you can see that makes this just the perfect colour. So you could use like a Mars black, like a granulating black with a little bit of a dark purple and a little bit of a reddish brown, and that will give you a similar mix. So here's a colour wheel that we did mixing a lot of those earthy colours together, and I really love those mixes, the way that they create those. And then one of the things that I wanted to actually add as kind of a part of this video today, but I've run out of time, so we'll do that in another video, is how I create my neutrals. So a lot of people mix straight across. So if you create you take one colour from the colour wheel, you go across the colour wheel, and those things create a neutral. But I often like to go to the left or to the right and use that kind of split complementary triad to find kind of neutrals that I want to mix. So I don't use all three, but I will kind of go across the colour wheel and then either go a bit to the left or to the right. You can see that any colour that you pick, you just go one way or the other way. And I find that doing that will give you just a little bit of a, a softer colour. I just really enjoy it. And so we'll go through that in another video and kind of do some of these mixes. Like today we're using the orange, and we can sort of go more towards the teal, or we can go more towards like a purpley, a smoky purple. So yeah, I really enjoy doing it that way. So this is another little kind of neutrals palette. So you can see, like, when I'm thinking about neutrals, and that's something that I kind of want you to consider, there's a very vast array of neutrals. It doesn't just have to be yellow ochre and like a burnt orange. There's a lot to consider and to to add to your kind of repertoire. So you can see, to start with, we used the mix of the Shell Pink and the Caput Mortuum, and now we're adding a little bit of the Pyrrole Orange. So in one way, I guess you can take the Caput Mortuum, which is like a reddish purpley colour, and then so instead of like going with purple and yellow, we're kind of going with the like a reddish purple, and then taking that to a peach. So I guess in one way it's sort of, it also becomes like analogous colours. We're kind of going with red and orange, but I'm getting to it from a slightly different angle. So one of the other things that you will find is that you can get to similar answers from different ways as well. So those are just the kind of things that I want to show you, and that you can be aware of, that there are so many different ways to arrive at how you want to achieve something. yeah, so I'm adding the sugilite in here as well. So again, I'm just keeping all these colors very soft, and just these tiny little variations in color, these tiny shifts in color, and creating color notes in a very subtle way. So one of the things you'll see me doing here is and again you can see these are very watery washes. So there's a lot more water than there is pigment in what I'm putting down. But one of the things you'll see here, so I am creating this background, and I am kind of doing a gradient wash. So across the background here, so I start with kind of the peachy tones. I'm adding more ochre over this left side, and yeah, I'm just sort of thinking about kind of making a glowy background, but then I really end up you'll see I change it, but yeah, so I'm adding some of the Schmincke sepia red here, to create a really dark wood, to create a different contrast. But the contrast is more about showing how pale and beautiful the fabric of the chair is. So it's not necessarily, yeah, so that's the reason why. But and so then, yeah, we just go around. I've been really enjoying doing these kind of Baroque frames within like the painting at the minute. So we do that to kind of match the colors of the chair. And then once that's done, I realized I wanted the background to be darker and deeper and a stronger contrast. Okay, so you can see there that I have just put on a wash of the Daniel Smith Luna Violet, kind of over some of it. So what I really realized as I was doing it, that I really liked that sort of peachy color, and I wouldn't necessarily finish a painting like this, but I wanted to keep some of that there just to remind me of the colors and things like that. So this is a sketchbook, and this is why, it's so enjoyable to paint in a sketchbook, because you can do something and then, kind of make notes to remember things and change things and try things. Yeah, so, and you can see that I'm really on this kind of blending the modern stripes with these kind of old ornate things. So I did some more stripes on the side here, and then I will show you how And this might feel and look a little bit similar to the one that we did in the last video. Okay, so there's a lot of interruptions there, but you can see, you know, how different when you put these two together, how differently they are in the feeling, and yeah, just the moodiness, which I really love. We've kind of kicked it up a notch since last time. So this one is a similar palette, you can see there, but hold on, sorry. Okay, sorry, it seems there are no half hours for voiceovers today, but so yeah, so you can see how when you put them together, you know, I really loved the one we did last time, but I really love this. So yeah, and you know, if I have again run out of time, but again I would continue to build up the shadows just softly in the chair with these taupes that we like to mix on the channel a lot. You can see there were two of my other favorite mixes from the landscape palette, so my favorite neutrals, and yeah, so this is, so we're kind of into the new new bit of the video. So I got this moleskin. So as I was doing the video about all my sketchbooks, I remembered how much I enjoyed just having a moleskin, having a pencil, and being able to take it everywhere, being able to practice, you know, sketching and, you know, handwriting and whatever I needed to work on. So I got a moleskin. This one has actually a fabric cover. It's quite beautiful, and it's like a limited edition Sakura one. So then I had put together this little pencil set, and I go over kind of what is in here in the last, I think it's the spring haul. So yeah, and I kind of go over what's in here and my reasons for it and everything in that video. But basically I've kind of put together like a little architectural you know, pencil palette and pastel palette there for sketching buildings and things plein air. And then this one is just an extra little palette of some other coloured pencils as well. Okay, so you can see this is a fairly compact setup, but still the only thing I really end up using is the moleskin and a pencil, which you'll see. So I'm here in a waiting room at the dentist, and yeah, so there wasn't really anyone. There were like maybe one or two other people sort of at times in the waiting room, and then they just got called back. So I was pretty much there on my own, which was really nice, because I just feel like, I don't know, I'm not really someone who would like pull out all this stuff when there's like people around. And yeah, so it's kind of inconspicuous for me, just a moleskin and a pencil, which I quite like. And then you can see there that I just practice kind of a rose and practice value drawing. So and then we had to sort of go and come a couple of times. So I ended up kind of being able to just add to the drawing, and then I would add like another rose, and then I added some leaves. So it was really lovely. Okay, so when we got home, the book was sitting on my desk and it was just beckoning to me, so I sat down and I just did a couple more pages, which again was really nice just to try some ideas and different things. So here is like an Orbison rug, part of it. It's something that I've been thinking about. I'm always drawn back to them, so I'm just thinking about a different kind of aspect of that, which is really nice. And then so what am I showing you here? So while I've got this all out, I decided to also answer a couple of questions. So I got a couple of questions about when we did the sketching video on like how to sketch, just how basically to start sketching, and it's a very nice video. It goes into like quite a lot of different elements of that. But I did get a question about how do you know where to place the shadow? How do you know where to kind of place anything here? Like I'm kind of putting these 3 dots down, but how would that work? And so I'm going to show you a few different ways that I like to do it, but also different ways that you can do it. So I've done that kind of a taller pyramid shape, but you could make a smaller one. You're basically just trying to get the first 3 dots into some kind of a triangle, and then you can make the side a lot wider by where you place the dot. You can make the whole triangle a lot bigger and wider. So that's the really enjoyable thing about art and about sketching, is that you get to make quite a lot of decisions on where and how you want these things to come into being. So so we can make different shapes here, and then I often like to put the kind of the dot for the shadow somewhere out to the side here, and you just kind of, so you're not going from the top, you're going from the 2 kind of bottom angles there out to the shadow, but if you wanted to place so I'm actually just making this triangle a little bit taller so that we can just look at a different way to place the shadow here. But you can place the shadow anywhere around, this point can be anywhere around the pyramid. So you can put it to the side down at the front here, and then in the next one we'll put it to the front on the other side. So it's very versatile, and it's very interesting to try a few of these different ways to to create these. Okay, so the other thing that I got a question about is how I use the neon side of the graphite color, and I just use it like a regular colored pencil. So You can see here I am just creating a little neon yellow pear. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show you is that and what I really enjoy these notebooks for is because you have so many pages that you don't have to go front and back. And so I just usually use double-sided tape at the bottom here, but I've run out, so I've just been using this glue. And yeah, I just put a little bit of glue on the bottom, and then I'll just press that closed, and then just sit the book there closed, and that seems to work pretty well. So I like that, so that I don't have to use both sides if I wanted to go back and scan something, or you know, something like that, so it doesn't get bubbly. But I also, last weekend, or maybe the July 4th weekend, I painted this. So I've been working on something else here on the desk, but my sister and I passed this circus a little while ago, probably a few months ago, and we had gone the wrong way, and then we just ended up kind of passing this little circus tent. And it was just a nice, bright kind of thing to see and to pass. So yeah, I just was kind of painting that, and then I realized I can show you kind of how I use neutrals, you know, on the painting. So I'll paint kind of the colors that I want, and then I'll let that all dry, and then I'll go back in with whatever shadow colors I've mixed or whatever I want to use. And again, generally it's like usually those lavenders mixed with browns type of colors, so purples and browns, and just really pretty taupe type of colors. And then yeah, I will just go back in and use it that way. So the other thing I wanted to say again is thank you for the shop update. So I think this is a little bit of footage from July 4th. Our neighbours had like jumping castles and fireworks. It was full on, but anyway, yeah, so I kind of write my little master list, which is just a piece of, you know, printer paper and then just a pencil, and I just kind of write everyone's name and what you have ordered. And then I realized, like so many of you, I really love kind of imagining your collections grow. So I realized that so many of you have already, you know, bought things, and again, like you're adding to that collection. So I do, like and then there are a few new ones as well who haven't experienced kind of the freebies. And I know you guys love the shells, so I am adding, I just can't not add the freebies and the shells. So I am adding those, and yeah, I think you'll really like, you know, how everything's coming along. And yeah, we had this buck just kind of in the neighbour's yard this morning. So yes, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a really lovely weekend. Okay, bye.